Winners and losers from the first day of the early college football signing period. College football's National Signing Day has begun but is far from over. In fact, it's no longer signing day but signing days, plural, commencing Wednesday with the early signing period enacted by college coaches earlier this year. Student-athletes can sign their national letters of intent until Friday, when the recruiting cycle slows until the more traditional signing day, held in early February. At that point, it will be possible to fully rank and digest how teams across the Football Bowl Subdivision fared in compiling their 2018 recruiting class. But there are several takeaways from the start of the early signing period. Here are the early recruiting winners and losers, which come with the caveat, there's a long time to go until February. End of career? Five-star Clemson signee Wade Urban Meyer's future live updates. News and analysis from college football's early signing day winners. Florida. The advent of the early period has made it even more difficult for new head coaches to make a splash on the recruiting trail. But Dan Mullen and Florida should be excited about their early haul, which closed with a flourish. The Stars quarterback Emory Jones, a late flip from Ohio State who gives Mullen a major talent to work with under center. The Gators also landed commitments from a pair of four-star defensive backs. 1. Trey Dean, chose Florida over Alabama, and landed key help along the offensive front as junior college tackle Noah Banks. Penn State, James Franklin and the Nittany Lions landed a trio of five-star prospects, led by a day of commitment from Harrisburg, PA, linebacker Micah Parsons. After verbally committing to Penn State earlier in the process, Parsons backed off his pledge and flirted with Ohio State, Oklahoma, Nebraska and others before signing with his home state program. He's the sort of talent who can keep the Nittany Lions among the best in the Big Ten Conference. Baylor. It's rare to see a team notch a top 25 signing class when coming off a one-win season. Yet it's a possibility for Baylor, which inked the start of a strong group heading out of Matt Rhule's debut. The best of the bunch? One would be quarterback Jerry Bohanon, a four-star prospect who chose the Bears over Arkansas and others, and another is four-star receiver Joshua Fleeks, an absolute burner with the ball in his arms. Maryland. The Terrapins continued to amass the talent needed to compete in the rough-and-tumble Big Ten East Division by signing a second top 25 class in a row. While last year's class was headlined by skill talent, this one is focused up front. Maryland's top signees were linemen from the Baltimore area, while DJ Durkin and his staff added a few JUCO prospects with immediate impact potential. One such addition, former Auburn defensive tackle Byron Cowart, was viewed as one of the nation's top overall prospects coming out of high school in 2015. Washington. Just because Chris Peterson doesn't pay attention to recruiting rankings doesn't mean we can't give the Huskies signing class some love. You know how the meat of Peterson's great teams at Boise State and Washington were built on underrated and underranked prospects? Well, this year's class should settle around the top 10 of the team rankings compiled by 247sports.com. That should worry the rest of the Pac-12 conference. The Huskies signed 7 players ranked in 247 Sports' top 250 recruits, including quarterbacks Colson Yankoff and Jacob Sermon. Losers Ohio State. This is very tongue-in-cheek, as who may have lost out on a small handful of prospects on Wednesday, but the Buckeyes remain in the lead for the nation's top signing class, per 247 Sports. Urban Meyer and the coaching staff did lose Jones to Florida, which stings, and were unable to secure a signature from five-star offensive tackle Jackson Carman, who inked with Clemson. It was still another banner day for one of college football's elite programs. Florida State. Don't look for this to last long, since the expectation is that FSU will return to its juggernaut ways on the recruiting trail once Willie Taggart and his staff get their operation in order. But it wasn't a great day for the Seminoles, who didn't close on a few top prospects, as was expected, to be honest, and probably won't end up inking a class ranked in its normal position among the nation's best. There are still enough positive vibes to expect a strong close in February and an elite group of signees in the class of 2019. Signing day props. There were no live animals used during a commitment ceremony, nor any major last-minute flips, controversy or drama. It was a pretty dull day, all things considered. Why is that? It's partially due to the lack of overall drama and intrigue associated with the early signing period, as well as a byproduct of fewer commitments being aired on national television. Too bad. Traditional signing day, once part of college football's annual schedule, the early period has drawn almost all of the air out of February's signing day. As of Wednesday afternoon, all but 9 of the nation's top 30 prospects, as ranked by 247 Sports, had yet to sign their letters of intent. While a few may drag things out until February, look for that to become rarer as coaches and recruits adjust their calendars to match the early period. As for why that is, consider the alternative. Coaches have made it clear that those who do not sign during the early period are essentially uncommitted prospects.